Two, one, action. Good morning, good afternoon, or it's not morning anymore, is it? Well, it might be somewhere. And good evening, depending on where you're at. And welcome. I'm trying not to do a long, drawn out introduction, but I'm so excited because um, this is our first time on a virtual Zoom experience to some degree that we're going to have an opportunity to showcase this marvelous instrument. But it's not only that; it's the first time to showcase an instrument like this in a long time period. Even when our stores were open at normal capacity back 6, 7, 9 months or whatever it was, it's been ages since we've been able to have a product like this. And we have many of you know the person that's going to be featuring the model today. We were talking before the show, and he was with me. The very first, I said, "Were you on that very first Zoom class that I did?" He said, "Yep." So he was there since the start, and we were kind of reminiscing about how far we've come along, and it's just fun to see everybody on and the many faces that are joining us today. So anyway, without further ado, I want to get the show on the road because Sean's got a spectacular show. He's got a lot of great and exciting things to show, and it's going to be on our marvelous, marvelous, magnificent Lowrey Marquee. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Sean. Sean Maloney and the Lowrey Marquee, everybody.
You don't know how excited I am for this. This is going to be so fun. I don't think any of you are ready for this here because this is going to be a lot of fun. I get a Lowrey Marquee to play on today. That never happens, so I am riddled with excitement. My hands are shaking. I'm so excited. So I'm going to open this sucker up. Ooh, look at that. So bright and fancy. I'm going to be playing a concert for you today, as well as just kind of demonstrating some of the features and benefits of having an instrument like this, because I never get it. So I'm going to be showing off that kind of stuff and using all these special things. So I'm going to get started right away with a song featured in the musical Cabaret, if you remember that. And the name pretty much suits it. The instrument's called the Marquee, and what do you know? It has a lot of sounds from musicals and movies, like you'd see on a marquee outside, you know. So here's the song Cabaret from the stage production of Cabaret. Oh my goodness, that is so fun. I'm already having a great time. This is great. I'm excited to play that song. I don't know what it is about that song in particular. It gets stuck in your head all day after you play it one time. But that's Cabaret featuring Liza Minnelli, and that's the original sound of that stage production. And the name of that rhythm that they put in the instrument is actually called Cab Array. So they made it so you can play that song, or as Robert's done in different concerts we had in the past, he'd play different songs with it because you could play really anything with that style. So during today, I'm going to talk a lot about the technology in this instrument because it's this isn't even an upgrade to what most people are used to. If you have something like a Prestige or Sterling or a Patriot, Liberty, it's not just an upgrade from that. This is a whole new instrument with all new features, sounds, a whole new cabinet. I'll talk about this screen in a moment, but let me show you this real quick, since it's hard to see from where you're sitting right there. You're my camera here. Uh, this is kind of what it looks like from the front and the side there. This is the mahogany edition. It is gorgeous. And if you go on, you can see that. And here's this. That's the oak edition here. And if you can see that, look at the size of that screen. That is the size of an iPad. So if you're used to that, you'll be used to this here. So what's kind of cool is they add a lot of sound to this without making it louder as well. If you look at the sides, you see these, I don't know if this will work, but yeah, you see the sides, those little black rectangles there? Those are more speakers. They add studio monitor speakers to this, so you can hear it coming right to you. And you still have, look at this up here, you see these little black bars kind of just barely behind the music rack there? You have virtual speakers as well. Those are right here. And there's a button that turns them on. And when they're on, you hear it. Because what's cool is it's like opening the lid of a piano. If anybody's ever had a piano or played a piano, there's a lid on it. It opens up the sound to come on out into the room and kind of fill the air with your music. It is fantastic. So the sound is great. The look is great. I'll talk about the touch screen a little bit more in a little bit, but on the inside too, the memory and the computers have been hugely upgraded. So I'm going to play another song here, and I want you to listen to the background of this song here. I'm going to play the song Downtown by Petula Clark, if you recognize that. And I'm going to be, throughout this, using a lot of easy play music. I got my little stickies to tell me what page to go to. But it's very simple, just most of the songs, C or F, the key of C or F. So this song's called Downtown, and listen to the background here. I'm going to use this expanded memory, and partway through the song, I'm going to play through page 1 here, and when I get to the second page, I'm going to hold in my fill switch on the foot here with my foot in the hole. I'm going to kick to the right, and it's going to give me a whole other part of the song in the background. And I'm just going to hold it down. So listen for that. You'll hear the music kind of calm down, then go back up. And that's because I'm holding that foot switch in, and it's giving me what we call special effects, or a special fill. So check this out. Let's play Downtown by Petula Clark. I'm still holding that fill switch in, and I'm going to let go right now. you, thank you. Oh, what do you know? I have an applause button so I can make myself feel good. That's great. Actually, all new applause sound as well. A lot of these, even the sound effects in this instrument, they're not upgraded. They're renewed. There's a new applause. There's all sorts of great new sound effects built into this as well. I may get to that a little later. I've got so much to cover still. So I hope you noticed the background of that downtown song. When I got to the middle of the song, you heard it pick up, go back down, pick back up. That was all done for me in the background here. I was just holding my foot on the switch. Easy peasy Japanesey. If you notice, some of you, if you have what's called the A series instruments, if you know, like I said before, Prestige or Sterling, Imperial, I'll probably mention them several times. If I say A series, you know what I'm talking about. But these buttons on this left hand and this right side, they all look different. Oh no, what are we going to do? Well, they already solved that as well. Let me show you kind of what we're looking at here. Let me find the right slide. This is not the right slide. Find it here. There we go. This is the panel button I'm looking at here. It doesn't say big band. It doesn't say swing or ragtime. But if you look at it here, I have several different ways that I can find these rhythms here. You have everything we had before. We don't lose anything. I just have a lot of new stuff. And to find a lot of your rhythms that you might be used to, you might say, well, the buttons are different. How do I find them? Well, we have a new feature right on the giant here, touch screen. Here's my big touch screen. On the left side, you see it? There's a new button here. It says Style Suites.
Ooh.
Yeah. I love this feature for several reasons. First of all, yeah, if you can't find a rhythm you're used to using, look at on the right what comes up when you touch that. It gives you your old buttons back, so you can still find your rhythms. So Big Band Foxtrot was a button, Swing Ragtime was a button, and they changed those to the standard button on this new instrument. So you can use the new way, or you can use your Style Suites here and find them that way as well. It looks just like that. And what's cool, if I go to the next page, I get other ways to categorize my rhythm styles. There are so many rhythm styles in this instrument. You have, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Robert, or fire me if I'm wrong, it's 352, I believe. Something.
That's about right.
Yeah. Okay. That's what when I did my math, but I am bad at math, so you never know. But there are a lot of ways to categorize them now, too, where maybe you want to play something from the 70s. It gives you all your 70s rhythms in that button. It's just giving you different ways to organize them. Or if you want to play something from the 20s or 1930 or 1940, you've got a whole button here that'll bring up those specific rhythms. So not only that, you may have caught it with this picture here. I have a button all the way to the left. You might have some favorite rhythm styles that you use, like one of mine is swing, I think it's gypsy rag, that's what it is. You know, does anybody here have a favorite rhythm? Any examples of a favorite rhythm from you guys? You can unmute yourselves if you have one.
They're all tapping their screens right
Nobody has a favorite. That's okay.
Latin.
What's that, Mike?
Latin.
Latin. Perfect. You can choose a Latin rhythm. You can put a rumba. And you have this button that says favorites. Say your favorite is rumba. Well, you touch the favorite button and you throw it in there. You can put any rhythm style you want in here. And it stays there. Whether you turn off the instrument, reset it, your favorite styles stay in one place, so you don't have to go hunting for them. These are just some of the new rhythms on the instrument, but let's move on here. Just a really, really easy way to find my favorite styles. I use that all the time on these. When I get one in the store, I just start putting things in there and saying, oh, I'm going to put this here so I can use it later. So I'm going to use another one of my favorite rhythm styles. And actually, Robert will attest, this is one of my favorite songs of all time. called Sweet Caroline. You may have heard it before. It was, oh gosh, it was a long time ago, way back in the 1970s, I believe. And this is Neil Diamond here. And we have his rhythm built into this instrument. It's so perfect. You'll hear the fill-ins just right. But you got to help me out with this. This is the audience participation section here. And I think you all know what to do. There's a part where he says, Sweet Caroline. And you go, bop, bop, bop. The bump bumps. You have to do the bump bumps for me. And you don't have to unmute yourself. You can keep it muted. It's up to you. If you want to throw them in there, you can. But Robert's going to be looking for you guys.
You may want to participate because I might spotlight somebody. You just never know.
And he's going to try to find the person who's not doing it, right? So,
no, I want to see who's doing it the best. Now,
there
this
we
is
go.
tricky because I got to do it right at the right time.
Yeah.
All right.
If not, that's okay. We'll be watching you anyway. So
okay, it looks
sure
like Mike Dickens is ready. Mike Dickens is ready.
There we go.
The camera's going to be on him in a minute.
All right, here we go. Sweet Caroline with the Neil Diamond. I was going to say Lou Diamond. Who's Lou? Lou Diamond Phillips. That's a totally different Phillips. I mean Diamond. Okay, here's Neil Diamond, Sweet Caroline. Great job, everybody. Give yourselves a hand there. That was cool to hear myself.
I just said I'm going to go for a walk after dinner.
All right, so after our walk after dinner, I'm going to go through another song here, but I'm going to use a really, really special feature. This feature is so neat, just really, really useful. It doesn't make anything more difficult. It makes it easier. If you can see, let me go back to this other camera here. I'm going to play a song called Moon River. Let's see, you might recognize that. That was by Henry Mancini, one of my favorites. But I'm going to use a special feature in this instrument. If you notice, on either side of my touch screen here, I have not one, but two virtuoso features here. So they call it the Grand Virtuoso. The reason that might be easier is, say you're playing your chord here, and you need to keep changing chords, right? So sometimes it's kind of hard to have to reach all the way up and use that feature there. So it's easier to lift your left hand to that side. So you can go back and forth. You can use either hand. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to play Moon River here. So I'll find it on the touch screen here. And it's a rhythm called Moonstream 3/4. So, and you'll hear it. Listen for the very end. You'll actually hear a special voice, which is going to be Audrey Hepburn at the end here. So this is really nice. Let me get my music out. There we go. Moon River. And I'm going to use that feature throughout, so look for that.
Hey.
Cool. Hey. That was really nice. Audrey Hepburn built into your instruments. She's very small, but she's in there. She's packed in tight. So that's a great feature to have because you can use it anytime you want. You can even put different sounds in each one if you want to. You could put a vibes here and a harp here, or a harp here and vibes here. You know, you could do whatever you want. It's great. We use that all the time at the store here. So speaking of new features, like I said, this instrument, it's more than just an upgrade. You get features and features and all these new toys to play with. This is great. One of my favorite ones they add, it's a new feature called Key Glide. Let's see. Let me see if I have a picture of that so you can kind of see it closer. That's back to my favorites, but I have a Key Glide picture in here somewhere. I should have found it earlier. Pro Play. Here we go. That's what it's called. Pro Play. There's a new button. It's called Key Glide. Now you might say, what would Key Glide do for me? Well, what's great is all you have to do, it's one button. How do you turn it on? You touch it. Yep. If you want to turn on the feature, you touch the button that says Key Glide. And what it's going to do is, rather than use your glide switch, you know, a lot of people have trouble with that, either on the touch bar here or your foot switch on the bottom. It's kind of hard to kick in sometimes without making the volume go all wonky. So what's nice is if you touch to the left there, you'll get the glide, or I can just touch the button, and now this keyboard on the top turns into a touch-sensitive keyboard. So if I press down, it'll glide. Let me put something on for an example, like let's say we're playing Hawaiian music. You use a lot of gliding with that, I'd say, because they have the slide guitars. So I just put on Hawaiian music, I turn on Key Glide, and now any time I hit a note, all I have to do is press harder. You hear that? Or I can do a chord. Easy peasy. Now you don't have to kick any switches or anything like that. So for an example, here's just with a Hawaiian guitar. Easy enough. I just touch the note and it goes up or down. And what's great is you might say, oh, I don't know when to use that. What would be a good sound with that? Well, here's what's great. You all have category setups on your instruments, right? Where it might say big band sounds or show tune sounds. On here, they add a brand new category called key glides, which just gives you a great group of key glide sounds to play with. And it already turns the button on for you. So all I have to do is turn on that category. And next to, you can't quite see it, but next to all the sounds on there, it says KG, which stands for key glide. That's how you know it's already on. It says it right there. So they have all sorts of cool different sounds, and they go with the style of music you might want. So there's one called Organ Up. This is really cool because it takes the whole organ sound and goes up an octave when you just press a little harder, like this. Kind of fun. When you hit a chord, it goes up. Pretty cool. And they all kind of tune to the notes that instrument would normally do. So there's one called a trombone, and this is great because it takes your trombone and it does it what's called a fifth down. So when you play it, just like a real trombone would, like this. I had to try to get the motion there. But you can use that for any song, and it just comes up. So try this here. You could do something like that. All I did was touch it harder, and it went and did the glide for me. So great new feature that all of our students that have used it, they say, oh, this is so much better, you know, because we have so many people that have a difficulty using that foot switch. So I'm going to play some sort of country type music next here. Not only does this instrument feature a lot of great music and sounds from musicals and movies, it also features a lot of the most popular artists of all time. They really feature them because there's one called, you might have heard of the name Glenn Campbell. No, nobody? Okay. But there's a guy named Glenn Campbell, and he has a lot of great hits. And there's not one or two. There are 3 different rhythm styles in here that feature the stylings of Glenn Campbell. And I'm going to use one that they don't typically play here. It's called Southern Nights with a K, Nights. But that's why they call the rhythm style that, because it's close to the song Southern Nights, which is a really fabulous tune from him. It was a really fun song he did. So I'm going to feature that song. I'm going to use another, what we call the special effects, where it's going to do the fill, and it's actually going to provide part of the song for me. So listen for that, and let me switch cameras, and here we go. Here is Southern Nights, Glenn Campbell. There you go, Glenn Campbell. You might recognize that guy there. Uh, that is such a fun song to play. If you've never played it, you got to try that song. It's really addicting to play and just a heck of a good time. Let's talk about another cool feature we use a lot here. This one is almost hard to put into words how groundbreaking this was when it first came out. Let's talk about harmonies, okay? Let's see. Let me see if I can find this here. But you all have harmonies on your instruments. That's correct, right? Well, they add a new feature to your harmonies now called Cascade. Have you heard of that? Some of you might have heard of it. This is great because what it does is instead of playing all those notes at the same time, it takes each individual harmony note and plays them separately. So check this out. Here's what it looks like. You have the buttons called harmony, and right next to it, it says Cascade. So you can turn it on, you can turn it off anytime at all. And what it does is instead of playing all these notes at the same time, like for example, let's just pick a random sound here. And speaking of categories, like I said, they put one all for key glides. They actually put a category in here that fills these 10 numbers here with all cascading harmony sounds. So you can try them out that way, or you can turn it on your own. But there are some great sounds in here. And what's nice, let's just show you as an example, kind of, if you were going to play something like country music, a lot of the time if you're playing a guitar sound and you have a harmony on, when you touch that note and it plays a harmony, most of the time guitars don't do that. When they're playing a melody sound, they don't play a full chord with every melody note. So that would sound like this here. Yuck. But what you can do is you turn the cascade on, and then it'll play like a real guitar player would. It takes those harmony notes underneath and separates them all. And you don't have to worry about it ever going with the music because it's just going to take whatever tempo you're already playing, and it'll go according to that. So even if you have a style of music on, if I put country rhythm styles on, let's do, this one's fun, Cheatin' Country. And I'm going to use that guitar sound with the cascade, and listen to that sound. You'll hear the guitar, and it'll cascade those harmony notes. Sounds great, right? And what's nice is you have them all there. There's guitar sounds, string sounds, bell sounds, and it just turns the feature on for you. Or like I said, if you want it with any style of music or any sound, just turn the button on and it'll do it. Throughout the rest of the songs I'm playing, you might listen for it once in a while. It's going to come on and off as I'm playing some of these songs. And you can tell in a preset or setup when it's being used, because just like the key glides, it actually kind of shows you when it's on. I don't know if I have an example here or not, but it has what's called an @ symbol, like you have in your email, the @ symbol. Anytime it has that next to a setup, it means it's automatically on for you. So you'll find even some of the presets and setups you already use will now use that cascading feature, and it'll come on automatically. So let's feature another style of music here. I hope you guys are having a good time. Let me get some nods. Yeah? Yeah? Some good music here. I like waltzes a lot. I'm going to play another waltz for you. This is actually the first ever song I learned at Fletcher Music Centers. I had a family member who was kind of ill, and she had cancer, and she came in, and you know, she said, "Oh, these are great. I love these instruments. You know, can you play, you know, my favorite songs, Doris Day's Que Sera Sera. It's my favorite song." So I learned it just for her. You know, when I first started, I wanted to play that song for her. And now on the Lowrey Marquee here, they have a rhythm style made for that song. So it just sounds absolutely perfect. So I'm going to feature that, and throughout I might go to the altar style and listen for that big change. You'll hear a big change when I do the altar style button. So here's Que Sera Sera. One of my absolute favorites. I love that one. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you.
Big round of applause. Let's give him a round of applause.
All right. I got one clap. That's good enough for me. So that was Que Sera Sera. Love that song. And just to kind of reiterate all these different things I've been talking about, it seems like a lot because there's a lot of new stuff on this. But what's great, you know, as I mentioned, is it kind of gives you all the different ways to use them. Like I said, those key glides and cascades are built into your categories, so you can find them, use them really easily. You can use the Style Suites button if you don't know where to find a rhythm. You can store some in your Favorites button if you can't find them there. And speaking of categories, I didn't even show you. I got some time. I got several different brand new categories that you'll die for. These are so good. There's one called Dynamic. This one is so nice because it brings out the actual tone of the instruments when somebody actually plays them live. Like you can hear somebody breathing into them. When you press it harder, it plays harder. It's just great. So let me show you some of those sounds here, just with the easy button here. You might be playing a song like I have Georgia on My Mind here. That's one of my favorites. If you're playing a song like that, just with the easy button, you want to use something dynamic and expressive like this.
I have a new.
Isn't that kind of cool? You can hear the pressure in there when I hit it hard versus soft. And you know what? I'm going to use another feature here too, actually. One of my all-time favorites that they added to this instrument. I'm using the easy button, right? You all use the easy button sometimes, right? I see some nods. When you use the easy button, it's even on when you've got the rhythms playing. And what it's doing is it's making those chords very easy to play with one finger. Now what's cool is this instrument adds a feature called MCS Plus, which is going to take those chords, those one-finger chords, and expand on them. Let me show you a little picture here. But what happens is instead of having that 2 or 3 note chord that it's playing, it'll turn it into 5, 6, 7 different notes. So look at this. It's a button right next to your easy button. It looks like that. MCS Plus. And when you turn it on, you have all sorts of different options. There's one here called Jazz. See that up here? Jazz 2 hands. And rather than just a C, E, and a G, look at all those notes it adds down here. See that down the bottom? It's playing what's called a C6-9. It's playing a jazz chord. And there's a couple other ones. This one's one of my favorites. I'll play this one. This one's called Blues. And it takes those left-hand chords and it kind of gives it sort of a theme and a feel. Rather than just C, E, G, it's going to play something bluesy, something a blues musician might use. So in short, it takes your left hand one-finger chords and it turns you into a professional. And it turns it into 2 hands most of the time. So something even a professional wouldn't even be able to do. So it's really, really a cool feature. Let's touch that blues button on the MCS, and I'm going to keep playing Georgia on My Mind with some of those dynamic sounds. This one's really cool. This is a jazz guitar sound, and if you hit it hard, you can hear the guy plucking it. But do you hear the difference? I'm playing the same one-finger chords I normally would, but it's taking that chord and adding color, the blues color. That's with the button on. You also have one called Jazz. This is a great one. Let's play some of these. I'm going to use the jazz chords on the left hand and a new category called Pretty. It's a lot of pretty sounds on the right hand. So let's listen to some of these sounds with the jazz left-hand chords here. So, and you'll hear some of these have the cascading harmonies in them. Do you hear the cascades there? Really cool. All I do is hold down the note and it'll cascade it for me. So those are built into a lot of these new categories of sounds. That was pretty. And you could hear that left hand rather than a regular easy button. I have MCS Plus. And it adds a whole new color to your music. So you can use that with or without rhythm styles, and it's just going to make you sound great. So let's go back to some rhythm styles here. I'll play one more for you because I am having so much fun. Let's see. I got to find it. This one's called Got Swing. We've had all over the years, there's been a lot of good swing and big band rhythms with Frank Sinatra sounds, Glenn Miller sounds. And this one's great because it features more of a contemporary feel to your swing music. So you're going to hear a lot of doo-wop type vocals. This is based on Michael Bublé's version of I've Got the World on a String. So listen to the background. It fits perfectly. I'm not even going to turn on altar style or anything like that. I'm just going to play through the song and listen to the background. It keeps changing because all this upgraded memory and everything. They got all sorts of room in there. So they have the musicians just keep going in here. Listen to this. I love that rhythm. Can play anything with that one. That one's great. So, I didn't even mention this, but a lot of technology upgrades, like I said earlier, and this I just taught a class on yesterday. We had a lot of people in this class where I taught how to record, and you can actually on this instrument record as an MP3. Does anybody know why that might be special here? Can anybody give me an answer? Why MP3? What does that matter? Gary?
Oh, me? Yeah. Yeah. You could record outside of what your organ is. In other words, in music from public.
Yeah, that's one feature. You can record something outside of the instrument. What's even better than that, the reason most people get something like this is not only can you just record a good quality song, but you can actually keep it on your USB. It records to your USB as an MP3, and what that means, it's an audio file that computers can read, cars can read. So when you put it in your computer, you could even email it off to your kids, grandkids. I had a lady who got one of these just because of that. Well, other reasons too. She likes the instrument. But she bought one of these because she said, wait, you mean I could just email this song to my daughter who lives in, I think, Virginia? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll help you email it. She said, oh my gosh, because maybe you don't want to ship a whole CD or vinyl album, to your cousins or nephews. You might want to just record on an MP3 and send it in an email. You don't have to pay postage or anything. So that's all I've got for you today. I might do one more song if I could do a finale. And actually, there's one more feature I haven't talked about. So I'm really
have to do one more song.
I have to do one more song.
One more feature to talk about.
Yep.
I was waiting for it. I was like, when is he going to talk about that feature? When is he going to? I almost spilled beans here. You might have to use Joni's sound effect in there for that mistake.
Oh yeah.
Joni's in there.
Oops. Oh, there it is.
That's Joni Monero, folks. That is a fact. Transposed. That's Joni. That's a fact, folks. That is actually Joni. They had her just. What did you do? Just go and say "oops"? That was it. Well, how many takes did you do to get that?
2.
And now we know what you sound like if we transpose your voice down. You must have had that transposed. Well, folks, we got a couple things for you. First of all, I have a gift. I have a gift for everybody that's attending today. Would you like to know what that gift is?
Yeah.
I only see a couple head nods. Okay, I'll tell you what it is, but you got to stick around. Um, and then Sean apparently has another feature that I'm dying for him to show off here. Uh, I was going to,
Oh,
I'm afraid to put the recap up there because it might show off one of those features. Is that okay, Sean, or can
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
put it on the recap the
Yeah,
screen?
let's recap it
Okay, hold on. Let me
there's a
get
lot
it.
of
Let me get
stuff.
it. Let me get it. Let me get it. Okay. So, and then you'll get a sneak peek, and then I'll tell you what the gift is. So, just a few things that Sean talked about today was really cool. First of all, he had the music style favorites. Actually, it's got the most style favorites in any model that has it. And then there's the multi-level sound system that he talked about. By the way, that virtual speakers, monitor speakers on top, no longer, it's just, you don't have to worry about it being closed off. And of course, what you didn't, did you mention the bench that you're sitting on?
I did not.
Is
I
that
did
that
not.
one of those fancy hydraulic type things?
You bet, and it helps me because I'm not the tallest person,
Okay.
so it's
Well,
nice to be able to go up and
bench,
down.
yeah, the bench that the Marquee has, you might have saw it in one of the pictures earlier, but it looked something. Wow, look at all these slides. Oh my goodness, there's so much stuff. There it is. So this actually has what's called one of those hydraulic benches, and if you could see it right here, there's a lever there, one lever there. When you click on the lever, and actually, let me spotlight Sean here. Go up and down on the bench there. Do you have the lever there?
Well, I'm as high as it goes, needless to say, so I'm going to go down now.
Now watch.
Whoa!
Very simply, the reason why I wanted him to show that is because some of the benches have the wind up. That one there, you just pull the lever, and it's almost instant. There's no effort whatsoever. You don't have to worry about putting some elbow grease into it. You don't have to worry about doing any of that. Then there's let me come back here. I mean, this is just really cool. Let me go. Oh, if you see all my slides there, there are over nearly 100 slides.
I could have played for about 3 hours on
I
this
mean,
thing.
it's endless. So it's kind of hard to pick and choose the cool things that it has. New styles. He said there are a total of 359 styles. That, just to give you some perspective, that's about from a Lowrey Patriot, that is nearly 80, 90, almost 90 styles more. On top of the Liberty, that's almost 30 or 40 styles more. Over the Sterling, that's over 100 styles more, et cetera, et cetera. Now get this, folks. Here's some good math for you. It says vintage style setups. Now here's what this means. A lot of you have rhythm preset, a lot of you have style setup, and some of you have organ rhythm presets. This has all three, meaning there are 33 presets, or setups, if you will, for every style, giving us nearly 12,000 setups that are all easy to read on the screen because it tells you all the time. So you got the vintage style setups, the new EX style setups, plus the organ style setups, giving you nearly 12,000 style setups. There's a new fill in, fill out button in here. You didn't get a chance to talk about the 10-inch display, the Cascade Harmony that he mentioned. There's already recipes done for you. There's a key glide that one to me, I can't tell you how many students have said it was about time they came up with that feature where you could just press it on the key instead of trying to use the kick switch and what have you. And of course, you can have Joni right in your home anytime with the new sound effects.
Sold.
It's always great to have Joni in your home going, oops, you hit a wrong note. Kind of makes hitting a wrong note fun. Then we have some new category setups. The new Grand Virtuoso, which he showed off. The MP3 Studio. I'm running out of breath here. How many slides is just on the recap? The Style Suites. The new blocks. Oh, the MCS plus, 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 plus. Wow, that's a lot of pluses. And then the Auto Fake It plus, plus. Does that have that Auto Fake It where you just touch it and it goes on its own?
Oh, you betcha.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, I think I'm out of breath. That was exhausting. There's so much good stuff on there. But I got some good news. The question is why are we showing a marquee? Well, I said it earlier, the marquee, and don't let me forget about the gift. I got to tell you about the gift.
Gift.
The last time I was thinking about this, and I was going, when was the last time I actually had a chance to touch a marquee? I had a chance, I did a class out of a student's home. But I mean, besides that, in the stores when we had one, and I was really doing that, and golly, I thought about it. It was like in 2019. I kid you not. Some people say, why is it so hard to get a marquee? Well, the only way you can acquire a marquee in an ideal scenario is someone trades it in for a Grand Marquee or an Aria. Well, Lowrey doesn't make those products anymore, so therefore, there's no way to take in a product if they don't make an instrument to take it in on trade. Well, we got lucky, and by chance, we had the we've recently acquired, I'm going to say 5, but we only have 2. The first 2 out of the 5 were sold before they even came in. We had people we had a waiting list that said, if you ever get a marquee, I'm getting it. If I ever get and sure enough, we acquired a marquee. And then we had 3 a week ago, and then within a matter of days, another one got acquired, so that's 2. I mean, literally, we have a waiting list of people. And we thought, wow, Sean had the ability to show off all of the wonderful sounds and features of the marquee. We better show it off and let the world know that if you've ever thought would be a great way to get a marquee, this would be it. And here's why. The only reason we were able to acquire a couple marquees was this. We, by chance, we had a dealer that had a new Aria. We bought it, and as a result, we took in a trade-in that led into the marquee. And we had 2 scenarios like that, and we've been scouring for Arias forever. There's just no more to be found. There's nobody to get them. And so as we found the marquees, we then were able to turn those loose. So this is very quickly becoming not just a limited edition, but an extremely limited edition. So I'm going to encourage you, if you like and see what you heard, you want to know more, reach out to your staff members. I'm insisting to get the staff members, get with your best students, you folks, to at least let you know what is available. And the pricing we have is not retail minus trade. We're doing straight what we call price difference pricing, which means we look at the organ we're taking on a trade, the organ that's going to the marquee, and what is the best case scenario for that scenario. So I'm going to encourage you, reach out. Last but not least, I mentioned a gift. And I noticed that, let me pull up my screen share. I noticed that Sean was playing today, and he looked like he was playing out of a music book. Is that a music book you're playing there?
Uh-huh.
All right. And I'm going to show this to you. I have a copy of that book. This is a table of contents. And if you look at this book, what's not in bold is the name of the new style. And what's in bold is the name of the song, so that's in alphabetical. This showcases every new style that was exclusive to just the marquee, and of course it's on the Aria. And it has, you could see he played, I think, 7 or 8 styles today. And look at all these styles. Didn't have a chance. You got Gentle Mind, Everything Gospel, Gentle My Mind, Country Blessing, some disco. We got the Scott Swing, Love is Tender, the actual recorded, the actual arrangement that Elvis did, orchestral ballad, Rumbalero, Snow, Suspicious Ideas, Sway in Latin, that's another Michael Bublé, et cetera, Wichita Wireman, Doo-Wop Delight. That's the White Christmas version of the Drifters that was featured in the movie Home Alone. And look, It's
Oh,
all easy
easy.
play music. Or most of it is, I think.
So
Yeah,
even
that's
I
enough.
can play it. Mm-hmm.
Look at that. So the book he was using today, the songs he played, is right out of this book.
Ooh.
Real nice, good, easy to use music. And here's my gift to you. If you email me, you got the email from me inviting you to the event today. If you reply to that email, just put in there, please, just put, may I please have the songbook, or as requested, please give me the songbook. I'll send you the music, and I'll reply with the music, and you'll have, I think it was like 30 some odd songs in that particular
Oh, yeah.
book.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all you have to do is reply to the email, and I'll send it back to you. And the only thing I ask is, what I'm going to do is copy the PA too, so they have a copy of it. Just tell me who your PA is, or what store you normally would associate yourself with. And if you don't know, that's okay. I'll figure it out. But that would be helpful. That way I can copy the PA and or the store as well, so they have a copy of it as well. Okay, so that's my gift to you. Without further ado, we're going to finish up. All I can tell you as a last reminder is, get one while you can. There are only two. All right, and it's back to you, Sean.
Thank you so much. And thanks again, everybody, for coming. I love doing this. This is one of the best instruments I could get to play on. And pardon my French, but it's great. So I'm going to play one more song here, and this is going to feature the Rocky theme.
Okay, watch your language. You're being recorded.
Oh, nards. All right. Well, here I'm going to play the theme to Rocky, and I'm going to use a feature that you might have caught on that recap he was showing. It said auto fake it. Well, what in the world is that? That is your fake it feature times 1,000. Because what's going to happen is all I have to do is touch any two black keys and let go. And I get the instrument. They play a solo for me. So it's kind of like, you know, in real life, I've gotten to play with a lot of bands and stuff. And, you know, sometimes you want to take the rhythm section. You want to be the rhythm guitarist. And you say, hey, you go do a solo. And you can keep playing while they do a solo. So I'm going to do that. You'll listen for the middle there. There will be a sweet guitar solo here. But let's play the theme to Rocky here. So I'm going to switch back to this view. And thanks again for enjoying this with me here.
Let's give a big round of
Thanks
applause,
again.
Mr. Sean Maloney, everybody.
Thanks again. Thanks again. Wow. Well, I hope you had a good time as I did, and a great rest of your day. Call your PA as soon as possible. These things are awesome, really. So check one out and look into it.
All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. And then again, another round of applause to Mr. Sean Maloney. Let's give it up, everybody. Let's hear it loud and clear, thousands of miles away. All right. And with that said, thank you. Stay safe and keep playing music. Mwah.
Later.